Hey guys, happy WIP Wednesday. So it's in the morning, I have a little bit of time on my break, so I thought I would just check in with you guys because it's been a while. I know I had all these plans for like posting daily and all of that, but when I made those plans, I was on break and now I'm back to work and work just takes up a lot of my day. But I have been getting some crochet and some knitting practice in. So first thing I'll start off with, I'll just show you guys some of my most recent finished objects. And one of them is this little strawberry. So yeah, so this is a little strawberry from Club Crochet, Louie over there. And I love it. It's so cute. There's also a pattern for one that is chocolate dipped. So I do plan to make that one next. I love how this turned out. And I did try to do the eyes a little bit. I added some little eyelashes, little whites under the eyes, the eyelids and stuff. I don't know, just wanted to get a little creative with that. And then right after I made this, I had lots of like little scrap pieces of yarn just sitting around on my desk from my knitting practice fails. And I decided I would use those and make some small projects. I was in the mood for just making some really, really tiny projects. And this is another Club Crochet project. And they're these tiny little whales, and I just think they're so adorable. I normally don't make tiny amigurumis, but I just watch a lot of Club Crochet. I like to just have it streaming in the background because they're really long streams, and it's just something like I like just that background noise, even if I'm not like crocheting along with it. And just seeing that all the time just made me kind of just get in the mood for making something small. So I do want to go back and make some other ones. I think it'd be fun to have a whole bunch of these in different colors and then just try out some other small patterns like this that use up these tiny scraps. So yeah, these are my little wells. That's really the only finished projects I've done recently. Have lots of WIPs going. So I did also want to kind of just give you guys an update for my 100-day project because I am learning to knit for that. So at first I thought that was a mistake because I was not enjoying it at all. It was such a struggle, and yeah, I was struggling, and I crochet because it's relaxing, and knitting was not doing that for me, but kept practicing. And one of the biggest changes was I switched over to some bamboo hooks or I never say it right, bamboo knitting needles, and this just made like a huge difference. So once I got here, I kind of started seeing some progress, and that just made me get a little bit more motivated. So one of the first things I think I already showed you guys was my little square. And I was so proud that I actually knit a square. Give me like a little dish scrub or a coaster or something. And after I finished this, I started another one. And this was actually supposed to be a dishcloth. It's a little small, so it's also going to be a coaster probably. But I'm just so happy I learned how to do increases with this, and it made this really cool border, so I just love how that looks. And then once I got that done, I was just focusing on just doing the knit stitch. So I wanted to practice purling. So then I started just a smaller one that's not quite as thick. Honestly, I kept messing up, so I wanted to do one that was a little bit more narrow, so when I messed up, it was easier to restart. But yeah, so I was just practicing doing the knit or is this a knit? No, what's it called? Stockinette stitch. So yeah, I was just practicing a little bit, doing some stockinette stitch, and I just love how this looks. And this is the same color that I was using for this. So I have a little bit left. I'm probably going to go ahead and just knit this up and just leave it as a little swatch just to show my progress. Okay, and once I finish this, I started another project, but this one didn't get far. So this is another pattern I'm following, and this one was by Nimble Needles. And it's for another dishcloth, but it's a little bit different because it has a border. And then, so for the border, you're doing 5, I think, I can't quite remember, but I think 5 rows of just the regular knit stitch. And then you start each row and end each row with 3 knit stitches. But the center, that's where you knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. I don't think I'm doing it right. my brain was just not focused. I was trying to do this while watching something. So I was like, knit, did I just knit? Did I just purl? So I was so confused. I ended up just putting this down because I'm pretty sure I was not doing it in the right order, but yeah, that's okay. So I'm probably going to go ahead, just frog this back, and then I'm going to start on this today again and just try to get the pattern right. So this is going to be my knitting project for today, because every day I have to do, even if I don't finish a project, usually I don't finish a project, I just have to spend, you know, at least like 10 minutes straight just practicing my knit stitch. Usually I do spend more than that, but at least 10 minutes is my goal. And do have some WIPs going on, because of course it is WIP Wednesday, so I got to share that. Now, okay, it looks a little bit weird now. But hold on, let me try to, there's a lot of ends that I have not, well, I was going to say that I have not weaved in yet. I'm not going to weave them in. I'm going to use them as stuffing. Okay, can you see it? Do you guys see it? So this is eventually going to be a dog, a little Dachshund. This is the front. Look at his little feet. I think they're so cute. And I am working on the part building up the body. And I'm at the part now where I need to make the belly. So I'm going to work on this today, but my eyes need a break because I normally don't use black yarn. I have a light that I put like shining directly on it, but it's hard to see. So I want something where I'm going to be doing something a little bit easier to see, and I'm going to show you guys what yarn I'm using for it. All right, so main yarn is going to be this, which is super pretty. I actually picked this up on my Canada trip. It was so cheap. I think, was it $2 Canadian for this? And then I got 15% off. I'm so happy. And I'm going to pair it with just some white. And I'm going to make a cute little tapestry. So I'm going to put in a picture. I was just laying in bed and just browsing YouTube, and that one kept coming up, and I watched it and just thought, you know, I definitely want to do this. And it's just something easier to see. And I love this project, but it's also a very challenging one for me. I haven't really crocheted anything with this kind of shape yet before. So I want something that's just a lot more simple, a lot more straightforward. And other WIPs, things we're making Thursday. Yeah. My blankets aren't getting finished for that, so it's going to be things we're making Thursday, February blankets I started and finished later, I guess. But yeah, so I am going to finish them, but right now I want some smaller projects. I love working on blankets, but I feel like it's a lot. The blanket is big, it's in a big container, and I have to follow, it's a graph can, so I have to keep following, you know, the pattern closely to make sure I'm not missing a square. So I feel like I have to be in the mood, I have to have space, I have to be ready to work on it. It's not a project I can just pick up, do a couple stitches and put down. And speaking of projects I can pick up and put down, I know I have another blanket. This one. Love this blanket too. I was hoping I would have finished this one for things we're making Thursday, February. Okay, this one's just a granny square blanket, so technically, yes, this is one I could just pick up and put down, but I've been in the mood for amigurumi, so put this back on the shelf under here. So, yeah, my break is just about over. I am going to go ahead and just get this project set up. Oops. And once I have it set up, I have a few rows going. I'm going to check in with you guys and show you what it's like. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey, so I'm finally checking back in. So it's actually the end of the day. It's about 10:30. So I'm going to be going to bed pretty soon. But I did want to check in with you guys and show you some of my progress today. So this is the little dishcloth that I was working on earlier. I went ahead and I frogged it back. And I didn't get much done on this, but I did learn something. So the pattern called to do a long tail cast on. And when I started my first version of this, I didn't actually know how to do that. So I just did the normal cast on that I had been doing. But I decided since I was going to frog it, that I would take the time to learn how to do a long tail cast on. And I do like it. I can notice like that it looks a little bit different. Like it's hard to see on camera, but it has like little chains at the bottom, and I love that look. And it was also so much easier to knit that first stitch into my cast on row. Because usually when I'm trying to knit into that cast on, usually it's really tight, it's really hard to do, but the long tail made it a lot easier. And you can see I didn't have very much left, so I thought I was gonna run out, but I had the perfect amount of length left. So yeah, I am doing that washcloth again. I've only knit 3 rows, and I need to do 2 more before I can start that pattern again. So I might go ahead tonight and knit those 2 rows for this, just so it's ready for in the morning when I start doing that alternating pattern, and hopefully it goes better this time. And I think, yes, I think that is actually called a moss stitch, because I'm like alternating like knit, purl, and then I do that for 2 rows, and then I switch, and then the next time it's purl, knit backwards. So we'll see how that's going to go. I'm going to have to just make sure when I do that I'm focused so I'm not losing count again. So yeah, not that much with knitting, but I did learn something new, so I'm happy about that. And I also worked on my tapestry. So this is what I have done so far. And I love this background color. I think it is so pretty. I just love how this is working up. Now, one thing that's a little bit different about this, whenever I'm doing like graph cans or anything like this, I usually never carry thread, because I don't like that look when you can kind of see the background thread peeking through, and especially in this because I'm using white, and this one is kind of a bold color, so it really shows through. And I was trying to avoid that at first. Like, my first thought was, make the different bobbins, but I didn't want to make that many bobbins. So then I thought, okay, instead of carrying the yarn like under the stitches like this, I'll just like pull it across, and I will leave the back of it very messy, and then I'll just put like a piece of felt over it. And I tried to do that, but then I kept losing track, and I was putting, why is this on the front and not the back? I don't know why I didn't pull this to the back, but that's all right. I'm gonna keep going. Actually, I could fix it because it's right here. You know what? I'm actually going to undo this and put this to the back. I just noticed that. So yeah, I was thinking about just like pulling it across on one side, and then when I get here, then bringing it back up, so I would have these long pieces like this on the back side. But I kept messing up and doing it on the wrong side, so I frogged that. And then I was trying to like put the stitches towards the back and crochet over them, and that just felt really tedious. And the reason I started this project, because I was actually crocheting my little doggy. I wanted something I thought that would be a little bit more simple, that I wouldn't have to focus so much on. And yeah, so I decided, I'm just gonna carry the threads across and let them peek through the white. And I'm actually kind of liking that, because it gives the white a little bit of extra color. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I think I have one more row of kind to finish off the kind, then there'll be a little bit of gap, and then I'll need to work on B, so it'll say be kind. But yeah, I like it. It works out pretty quick. It's actually using half double crochets instead of just single crochets. And I keep forgetting it. I keep wanting to just do a single crochet, because I do so many singles just doing amigurumi. So I had to frog back a lot of times because I was accidentally doing singles. And looking at this, I think I forgot. So I need to frog this anyways, because I was doing single crochets here instead of half double. And it usually happens when there's a color change at the end. So I can see I have my 3. So this one's fine. And then I can go ahead and fix that as well and put that to the back. I don't know where my crochet hook is. Well, I know it's in my bag, but I'm just going to pull that out with my knitting needle right now. But yeah, so that's what I have done today. I'm going to be going to bed soon. I might try to finish a little bit more of this, but if not, I will work on it in the morning. And yeah, So that is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching, for liking, subscribing, leaving me comments. I appreciate it so, so much. Hope you guys had a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.